I remembered to unmute everything this time, Ryan.
Wow.
Huh?
Improvement after
Huh?
55 episodes.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty good. That is 55 episodes. I'm getting there. Well, this is the episode number 55 of Nexus Drafthouse, and I want to welcome you all. I am Sahara Drac of StormLegacy.com, and I have with me my lovely and radiant co-host, Ryan, Lord of Ascension. Look at him glow.
Yeah. Just for you, Danny.
Yeah,
Just for you.
I know, and for draft, and for because you love drafting.
Obviously.
And we have a guest with us tonight, and that guest is CatPeachGG. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. It's doing not too bad. We're on 55 episodes. That's kind of a lot.
The sweet 55,
Yeah,
as you said.
That's right, and it's that's 55 like hour plus shows of sweet dripping draft knowledge that is just so helpful, and I'm so happy that we're here. So
you're such a poet.
I am. I am. Yeah. I read Neruda, so.
Wow, that explains so much.
Yeah, you know how we do. Yeah. So, Cat Peach, can I call you Cat for short? Cat Peach, what do you?
Yeah.
Okay, Cat.
Cat's good.
Cat.
Yeah.
All right. So, Cat, she has Skype buttons over her, but she's still there. I don't know how to get rid of those because I'm bad at everything. But why don't you tell us a little? Tell us a little bit about your background with Heroes of the Storm, what you do, your history with the game, and just kind of who you are.
Yeah. So currently I'm the website manager over at Heroes Hype, who you might recognize the name of because we are working with Blizzard to run Open Division this year. So that's super exciting. So I've been making sure that all keeps running, which is great. And once I joined Heroes Hype, I decided to jump into the world of casting, and so I've been getting into that in the past couple months, which has been super exciting. And so, hopefully for the rest of this year, I'll be doing that a lot more. So you might see me pop up in some of your amateur leagues if you're around there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've been playing this game for a while. Might consider myself a Probius main, for better or for worse.
That's the first time I've heard that from anyone.
For ire,
Yeah. I'm starting to get a little bit of a reputation, so
okay.
Hey.
Right. Okay. Well, I think Probius is fun. I like Probius. Yeah. So, speaking of for ire, Ryan, how are you feeling about that Phoenix?
Oh man, the hero was made for me.
It is.
I'm really, really excited.
So you may not know this, Cat, but we come from a site called SC Legacy, which was a very, very in-depth StarCraft lore website back in the day. Still there, but Ryan knows everything there is to know about StarCraft. It's pretty much
so he's right up your alley then.
Yeah. He's a Protoss guy, and
that's right.
He's have you played him? Have you gotten to try him yet?
I tried him once, which is not nearly enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be a serious love affair. I hope Tassar doesn't mind, but
yeah. No, he'll be fine. He knows.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys, it's 2018. You can see other people. So
hey, 20 years is a long time to be in a relationship.
That's true. That's true. He understands. He's a wise one.
So.
Yeah, that boy puts out the damage. That Phoenix. It's really fun. I like his kit a lot. Our buddy Matt Parker was the animator on him. He did a great job. He really looks like a dragoon. Like he moves around like a dragoon.
I'm really excited that they went with this iteration.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they talked about splitting Talendar and Phoenix out, but I'm glad that actually happened.
Yeah, like if you would,
Phoenix is far superior. So.
Absolutely. And if you would ask me, like, which Phoenix are they going to put him in? Oh, they'll put in the Purifier. Of course they will. He's the most recent one.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they went with Brute, like StarCraft 1 Dragoon, and I'm like, yeah, boy. So yeah,
it's really exciting.
Speaking of Phoenix, we do have 8 Phoenix codes to give away tonight, courtesy of Blizzard Entertainment. So very much appreciated. I just noticed that I reinstalled Chrome. Oh no, there it is. Okay, there's my giveaway button. I was like, no, but I have it.
Giveaway over.
We were gonna have to get creative.
Yeah, no, I still have it. Okay, so we're gonna let we are on the launcher, so we'll let some people come in before we start giving those away. So well, we should be at least. I don't know. Whatever. So we can just get into these drafts. Kat, you watched the Eastern Clash. I didn't see all of it. What's up?
We have to find out.
Oh, we didn't ask the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your favorite skin in the game?
Yeah.
It's
My
really a
favorite-
telling thing.
This says
Make sure you
everything
think
about a
this for
person.
a minute. Yeah.
Favorite skin, I think at this point is the black and purple or black and pink Megaterial.
Oh, okay.
Hands down.
That is a pretty
I
cool one.
think.
Relatively new one. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyrael was my first level 15 hero, or I guess level 10 back in the day when
Yeah.
it was still that system. So that coming out, I was just like, so whenever I play him, I'm usually rocking that skin real hard.
It's
That's a good one.
It's a legit choice. It's a legit choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll allow it.
Yeah.
It is fun.
All
Not
right.
kick off the scope.
I'm
That's great.
keeping Skype open. All right. Cool. So I only watched the semifinals and the grand finals of Eastern Clash on account of it being super late at night. It was a very, very cool tournament. Genji and Malfurion were all over the place. Definitely. Well, I don't know. Matt or Ryan might want to look it up. But I'm pretty sure Genji and Malfurion and Maiev were the most hotly contested heroes, with Maiev being banned most of the time. Malfurion had a crazy win rate. Genji was probably pretty normal, but he got picked a lot. But the finals of this was a 7-game series, which you always love to see. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Both Western and Eastern Clash were very, very good tournaments this year, which is always nice.
Yeah, I really enjoy watching Eastern Clash. I think sometimes more than Western Clash, because that's not a meta I get to see as often, just from what I follow. So it's really interesting to see how they play and what heroes they prioritize and their play style, right? I mean, speaking of Tyrael, right? I mean, they were in love with him for years before the West even considered him, right?
Right,
I mean,
right.
So
Hey, this guy's a spell that makes our team invincible. 2018.
seems like it would be good. Like, I don't know.
Might be decent. I don't know.
Oh, that's why they picked him.
Right.
But, like, it wasn't until his recent tweak rework, right, that he became a little more popular here. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a good time. I enjoyed watching those VODs a lot, and Kat has picked for us 2 games tonight. We're going to start with Tempest versus KSV Black on Battlefield of Eternity. Now, Battlefield of Eternity has kind of become a staple map. It used to be, Cursed Hollow was like the map you always knew you were going to see that in a series because all the pro teams like playing it. That's kind of Battlefield now, especially in Europe and Asia. So Battlefield of Eternity's meta has shifted a lot over the last couple years since its release in the Diablo event when it came out. There used to be a lot of focus on the damage on the Immortal. Heroes like Greymane, Artanis, things like that. Vala, still true, but much less true now in the meta. You have a lot more emphasis on soaking, making sure that the off lanes are being utilized during the event, because the event takes so long. There's a lot to be gained if you have an advantage in that department. So yeah, Kat, what are your thoughts about Battlefield of Eternity and kind of what you like to see on this map from the teams you cast?
Yeah, I mean, what I love to see is, I mean, personally, because it makes games really fun, is a team that thinks they can't chunk down the Immortal if the enemy team is dead. And so I really love to see like super duper aggressive teams who are willing to abandon defending taking damage on the enemy's Immortal and rather saying, we'll meet you at ours and we're going to make sure that you regret that decision. And that kind of makes them scared for like the rest of the game, right? Of, do we go in? Do we not? And I think specifically in the East, where we tend to see a bit more aggression on that side, that really comes into play. So I always get really excited to see that for sure.
And that's a great thing, kind of what you just described. A lot of that happens in draft, right? About making sure you're picking the right team to make that happen. So it's a good sign here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And obviously you don't want to ignore damage on
right.
you're out for the Immortal entirely, but
right.
but I think if you can kind of team fight your team, then they're not going to even have the chance to set up at the Immortal. They're not going to leave 3 people there if they know the rest of you are there. So you kind of get that mind game going as well, to be like, we're right around the corner. You better be scared.
Yeah, definitely.
Plus to Danny's point, right? The timings of making sure you're taking the camps at the right time and making the lanes pushed. I mean, there's just a lot going on in this map, and I think there's a lot of different ways to build those teams to both have that team fight advantage and make sure your timing's on point, right? Your pushes are there.
And to that meta shift, like you used to, Abathur used to be considered a bad hero on this map because it was only 2 lanes, and now you will see Abathur banned on this map almost always, or picked. So yeah, Tempest with the first pick and the first ban on this map, this particular game we're doing here. They do ban the Tyrael first and foremost. So didn't see that a lot this tournament, but KSV obviously loves playing Tyrael. They have for years. Yeah, I kind of see it. And the first ban out of KSV Black is going to be Maiev. So now that we are taking a look at this, Kat, what do you think of that Tyrael first ban? Do you think there's maybe something they could have prioritized, or do you think that's smart against KSV?
I think that, as you mentioned, it is a hero that KSV does like to run. And I think it's one of those bans that you can't really know what Tempest is thinking with banning it. Like, they can be thinking of any draft composition, and Tyrael just being like a pretty decent hero. That's not going to like hint to KSV, like, is Tempest going in one direction or another? So I think it's pretty generic and smart.
Yeah.
Maybe slightly targeted, which is, if you have that knowledge, is always a good thing to do. So
yeah.
I definitely don't hate it. He's, I love him. I think he's shown really great results a lot of the time in these games, especially lately. So I think it's a decent choice.
Yeah, and to me it says, well, they want something else if they're going to first ban Tyrael, because they could pick him. They could first pick him. So it kind of, when we see Tempest first pick, which is Genji, which makes a lot of sense, it is a pretty smart ban. That's the advantage of that first slot, is that they banned out the Tyrael, and they're almost they forced them into banning Maiev. They're like, we know you're going to ban Maiev because she was just too strong at this point. She got nerfed again this week, so clearly there was still something wrong, and the pros were definitely aware of that. So it's kind of a dead slot for KSV,
Yeah.
I completely agree. Right, there's 100% popularity for Maiev in this tournament, where she was banned 82% of the games.
Yeah,
and she was only picked up in 17%. So yeah, so she was banned 38 times.
Right.
Like, it's really kind of incredible. So I think, to your point, right? I mean, they didn't have a choice. They kind of had to ban her. So
yeah.
So,
and going back to, like, I wonder if with the Tyrael ban, they were attempting to fake out KFC to be like, we're not going to do something super divey. Like, usually you'll have Tyrael to help out with that. So maybe try to get a feel if maybe that's what KSV Black was going to end up trying to do, and trying to get KSV to lay out their cards before Tempest really had to. So that's just another thought.
And KSV now has 2 picks, so they might do that. What's that?
Well, I was going to say, it also lets Tempest pick up the Genji, right? I mean, he had a 76% pick rate, clearly a popular hero in 100% of the games. Although his win rate is actually not phenomenal in this tournament. He only won 48% of the time.
Yeah, 40.
But I guess when you're in 100% of the games, you're bound to
lose some. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did lose more than he won, which is interesting.
He did. Well, by one game.
By one game. I mean, yeah, but still, it's not like he was a problem. And that's the thing about Genji that a lot of people don't understand. Like, when they see him, it's not that he's overpowered. It's that he's such a pain in the ass. Like, he's just so, like, go away, man. Like, just stop it.
You want him to go away when he's there, but when you want him there, he just escapes.
He goes away.
Like, well,
yeah.
You're like, and you're like, I wish the grid did not what I wanted.
It also forces the opposite team to pick up some CC.
Stuns,
I mean, you got to deal with them, right? So
stuns and probably a right clicker.
Like, absolutely.
So, I like it. And the other thing is, if KSV's back, like, you know what, we're done being bullied. We're banning the Genji. It's like, well, now they have Maiev, and like, maybe that's better. Probably, it's hard to tell from the data because she was always banned. But it was probably better to have Maiev than Genji. So yeah, you just kind of get this free Genji and waste their ban. So it's a
Absolutely.
big advantage for the first pick here. KSV's first 2 picks, they do pick up the Tracer and the Malf. You're always going to see the Malf in this early rounds of drafting in this tournament. His win rate was very high from what I remember, and
69%.
69, yeah, that's like insane.
which is way heads and tails above just about every other hero until you get down to somebody who was only in 8 games. Like,
right.
I'm actually surprised he wasn't banned more.
Right. It's just that the other I guess Maev's that good. I don't know. But yeah,
I mean, but Malf was only banned 8% of the time. I mean, that's like nothing.
That does seem a little odd, yeah. But the crazy thing is this Malf Tracer synergy, right? Like they have this combo where it's like, once I put the Q on Tracer, she gets free heals, and I don't have to worry about where she is. Like I don't, she just can just run around, blink around, and she just gets heals because I'm just hitting my Moonfire. So you don't have to worry about her. It's really, really nice. Tracer on Battlefield of Eternity. Well, Tracer just always at the pro level is seeing a ton of play for many, many months now. What do you think of this first rotation, Kat? Do you think there's anything? Are you down with this? Does this give too much away, or do you like it?
So specifically the Tracer Malf was seen so much as a picked up pair, I feel like, in Eastern Clash that I don't think it necessarily gives anything away. But like you were saying, specifically with Battlefield of Eternity, I personally, depending on what they had plans to pick up after, I'm not sure if I entirely like it. I think if maybe something, and he didn't see as much play in the Eastern Clash, but picking up the Grey Main maybe to sub out that role, I don't know.
Sure.
But I've personally never really seen Tracer as like a must-have on this map. But the pairing with Malf was just so incredibly strong this time for all the reasons that you said, and so I feel like it was sort of we have to take this almost, like they felt uncomfortable not taking it, like leaving that on the table. So sometimes you have to just go with it and pick it up and try to make it work.
It's totally legit, the thing with the Grey Main is we were all, Grey Main's been, top dog for he was, for so long that, but we were looking at the Western Clash last week or week before, Ryan, and he was pretty underwhelming statistically. Something in the meta is shifting that is causing Grey Main to not quite be as effective as he used to be, and I think these Asian teams for this tournament were kind of aware of that, because you didn't see him emphasized very much, or like barely at all. And whereas he's like kind of an auto pick on Battlefield before, I don't think he interacts with this draft. It's very interesting how he's fallen off in the meta.
It's been a gradual decline too.
He
was still in more than 50% of these games, but it's odd sometimes in the meta shifts they just completely drop off, and he's just kind of quietly fading away.
Yeah. So Stormy says that they pick the Tracer to try and deny Hanzo for race cheese. I think that's more of a bonus rather than the reason they did it. I think the reason they did it is just really, really good, and also it denies stuff like that. So you're pretty much right. Yeah, I would agree with you.
But I do think that this pickup here, the Tracer Malf, is a little interesting in light of the Tyrael ban, right? You could have banned out one pair of that, and in fact Tracer was banned out quite a bit.
Right. Yeah, she was.
So it's, clearly there must have been some sort of targeting, and I think that this pickup kind of confirms that, right? So
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's still Noblesse, right? Or no, not Noblesse. What's his name? Tist on the Tyrael. I watched him play 3 games earlier today. Not all on Tyrael, but one Tyrael game, and yeah, he definitely there's Tyraels, there's good Tyraels, and then there's a Tyrael that's an actual like oppressive like problem, like you're just like, we cannot do anything, like we can't handle this guy, and Tist is definitely that caliber of player. So yeah, going over the Tempest side of things again, we do get an Uther, interesting, and a Nubarak, also interesting. What do you think of these picks?
So the Nubarak almost. So when kind of reviewing all the drafts that happened over the course of the Eastern Clash, like the compliments of Tyrael with like the Genji dive was, something that was pretty strong. Yeah. And it's interesting to see the Anubarak swapped in for that position. So almost like with the way it is now, KSV could potentially do their own version of dive if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
But by taking the Anubarak here, it doesn't leave as many options. And so that almost forces the turn for KS Sleep to maybe not go in that direction anymore. I think it's interesting. I think that especially with stuns coming out from Uther as well to make stun targets for Genji for days, right? I think it's kind of scary at this point. And then even just thinking about like what other scary things you can pair with these three. If I saw this in my games, I would already be like, oh crud.
Yeah,
they might have won the draft already.
It's very aggressive. To me, those two picks just are like pure kill tracer picks. They're just pure anti-tracer picks. Which if she gets hit by a bed of barbs, or what's it called, impale. If she gets hit by an impale, then that's free. He just burrows in. Uther gets a stun. Genji dives. Like it's pretty. This tracer has to play really, really well. Luckily, the tracer is played by someone who's on KSV Black and is known as the best player who's ever lived. So it is going to be a pretty good tracer. But still, that's a lot of. I would rather have heroes who are good against tracer than have the world's best tracer. So I like these two picks.
Yeah, I think circling back around to what we kind of talked about at the beginning when discussing this battleground. This is kind of they're building the team comp you were talking about, right? Going for those team fights. This is not a burn the immortal comp so far.
Just ignore
they're going to go, exactly.
As far as draft
right
goes,
for them, right? So far, so I think that's interesting.
Yeah,
definitely. Okay, so second ban phase for these boys here. They get the Malthael ban on the side of KSV Black, and there's the Abathur ban from Tempest. The Malthael ban. We talked about the Abathur thing. We can get into that after. But the Malthael ban, I don't know about it. I don't know if they were anticipating something I'm not seeing. But he's obviously an incredibly good laner now. He's better at laning than he was before. He's not as good in team fights. He's better at jungling. But again, like his team fight thing, last rites can be really cheesy and annoying. But other than that, you don't see a ton of Malthael. So what do you think of that ban?
I wonder if, they were just thinking they need something to take down these immortals. And so clearly they're going to pick someone who, with the percentage-based damage, like can kind of help get through those relatively quickly.
Right.
But it's definitely not like an obvious, oh yeah, of course they were going to go for the Malthael to, start increasing that front line.
Yeah.
And so it does, I agree. It feels a bit like, oh, I wasn't thinking about that, but I'm not entirely confused by the decision when you start to rationalize it.
It's a thing, too, where Tempest doesn't have a solo laner at this point.
Yeah.
And you need one of those. Obviously, Sonya's still there. There's plenty of choices. But the Malthael ban, to me, let me try and look at this. It's just too. I feel like they wouldn't have picked him up. I really don't, just because the team. He's pretty weak in team fights these days, and clearly they're gearing up to team fight, both teams. But yeah,
I kind of think that the KSV had maybe a different plan for the rest of the draft, and maybe the next couple picks here on Tempest messed with that a little bit.
Right.
Because I agree, I don't see an obvious reason to pick him up here. I mean, even if we're talking about burning down the immortal, I think there's better choices out there.
Right.
Currently, so it's a little odd. It makes you wonder if there's something else here going on.
They had a reason. I just don't know what the reason is. I guess is what I'm saying, and I'm sure.
Yep.
So often on the show.
That happens a lot where we're just like they know something from scrims we don't. It happens a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So the Abathur ban again. You have a guy who soaks top lane while you're fighting for the immortal. You have a clone, so it's still a 5 versus 5 fight. So just a really strong hero on this map in the hands of good teams, and just kind of a sensical ban in my view. Yeah, pretty common ban on this map. So I'm curious to see what KSV back picks up. They do pick up the Blaze. Blaze, very, very high priority hero. Not as high priority as Western Clash, but still a lot of Blaze in this tournament. And a Li Ming. So that's their immortal burn choice, is Li Ming. the Blaze, you get your solo lane covered. Again, that's the thing where it's like, well, Malthael's pretty good against Blaze, but he's still kind of he of all the warriors, like Blaze has the best self-sustain, unless Leoric's hitting his W's, so I still don't know about the Malthael, but the Li Ming does do damage to the Immortal. So this is the first pick in this draft where we've seen something picked for the reason of the objective more than team fight. Now, as we've seen on this map, one reset on Li Ming, like on this map because it's such a clash in the middle, can really snowball a team fight. So it's also got that going for it. What do you think of these pickups, Kat?
So when I look at this floor for KSV, I'm trying to think, in those team fights, who's the priority that they're attempting to possibly take out and start those resets with. And I feel like the Genji potentially possibly too difficult to actually pin down and get that done with. So I'm wondering if they were thinking, hey, if we get this Uther out, we can start from there, and then we don't have like that extra stun. We don't have the shields that he provides. But I don't know, like as that 4, there's something that's not gelling.
No.
Like usually by this point for me, I would be like, okay, I more or less understand what's going on, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because, we don't see Li Ming as much as we used to.
Right.
I don't.
Well, you've erased Anubarak's ult, right? Anubarak,
Cuckoo, yeah.
he doesn't have an ult. You use a 30-second cooldown ult for a 60-second cooldown ult every time. So that's a big plus. She does do Immortal Burn. It is weird. She's just a little off. It's a little off meta. It is. But not when you see
not
Anubarak.
always the worst thing. Yeah.
So, I think that's pretty much the reasoning for that.
Good points. Yeah.
Okay, so Tempest.
It still feels like there might have been other options.
I think there is. I think there is.
If it's only 4 burning the cocoon, you can sub in plenty of other folks to maybe do that.
You can't gray main at this point.
Right.
Uther and Anubarak shut that down pretty well. As far as a ranged damage dealer, Chromie, I don't know. Like I kind of feel like Li Ming's the choice, given that they have an Anubarak.
I don't know.
No?
Yeah.
It's a little. I'm back to you still need to get a reset, and I don't even know that you want to hit Uther because he doesn't die.
Right. That is very true.
That's not even like in a team fight. I'm not sure that benefits you other than receiving the reset, right? I mean, it's a little. Falstad had actually a decent win rate here. He wasn't played a phenomenal amount, but he's a little bit of an option. I don't know that I would have put Junkrat in here, even though he was played quite a bit with the amount of CC that Tempest has. But I don't know. I don't even know that they needed to pick up another damage here. They could have waited to see how Tempest rounded out there.
The way they're set up, they basically have to pick. Are they trying to kill Tracer, or are they trying to kill Li Ming or Malf? They could really only do one, and given that Tracer's being played by Rich and his Tracer with a Malthael on him, that kind of makes your target Malf. He has the move speed talent that is not nerfed in this tournament. He's really quick with his new radiation. So I kind of like the Li Ming poke and the anti cocoon. I mean, I know they lost this game, but I still think it was smart.
What about like a Tychus?
Tychus would be pretty good. Tychus is good against Anubarak. Tychus has so many defensive talents. The Neosteel coating and all that. I would say the only tank that Tychus is better against is Diablo. That would not be bad. I wouldn't hate that either. Blinds hurt you at that point, but that's workable because you don't have any magic damage. You're all except for the Tracer ult. Yeah, it's complicated. I think Tychus would be totally acceptable.
What blinds are you worried about here?
No, there are no blinds. I'm saying if you pick Tychus, then they can draft blinds. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
because they still don't have a tank, or they have a Anubarak, but they could take a Joe. There's things they could do.
Sure.
Artanis is great on this map. I know that'd be really weird, but
Tempest also needs sustained damage here. I mean, they have other roles to pick up too.
Yeah,
so.
they do. They need some burst damage for sure, or some sustained damage, or both. So going over to the side of Tempest, they do round out their team with a Thrall. Thrall with the Crash Lightning and the 4-man. a thing that happened, but I think actually they send him top this game and do Echo of the Elements. And then Hanzo. So Hanzo, there's your immortal burn. He does it in spades, even with all his nerfs and changes. Obviously not as popular as when he came out, but still pickable. What was his pick rate this tournament, Hanzo, Ryan?
Honda, he was actually a little more than I thought. He was in 63% of the games with a 50% pick rate. So he wasn't banned out very much. But his win rate was only 54%.
54? Well, hey, that's winning, That's a positive.
Hey,
yeah.
It is, but actually a surprising number of heroes had above 50% win rate. So.
Right.
Uther was not one of them. Uther only had a 37% win rate.
Yeah.
So not real great.
And that's the other thing is, look at the poke on the side of KSV Black. Uther's going to have a hard time keeping up with that. I know it's not poison damage, but, he does struggle in those kind of long-term poke situations.
Yeah, and an interesting thing so far, even at this point in the draft, is how mobile these two teams are. I mean, it's really, they both have a lot of mobility. So I think hitting those stuns on either team is going to be tricky, even though KSV doesn't have any right now other than the root. So,
Kat, you like the Thrall?
So this is, I think this was the first Thrall that we saw in the Eastern Clash, and he came out a couple times. I think it's a really fun mix-up.
Yeah.
In the melee assassin space, because again, like, even though we kind of agreed it didn't entirely make sense, like having Malthael there is usually what we tend to see, not usually, but sometimes what we see instead. And to have Thrall come in, one, to possibly even hit that root to kind of assist with that, stun on root, scenario. And I think Good ended up doing maybe this game, maybe a different game, did do the Crash Lightning, and that has been, a joy to see in games. Can be very strong.
Yeah.
And so I think it's definitely a cool mix up.
Yeah.
It's one of those that, so the Li Ming pick, it's cool, but kind of shifty on. But the Thrall I look at and I say, like, yes, like, you have agreed to the all-in on this, and I'm so excited to see it play out. Like, that is going to be a crazy team fight that Tempest pulls out.
Yeah. Well,
and like, even though, like, I just want to see it now, right? Like, even if Thrall is getting camps, which he can do great, if he is laning, he can also do that. But if he jumps into these fights, he's gonna feel pretty at place as well.
Yeah.
Unlike the Malthael, who now, again, like, not so great in the team fight, but can do the laning, and Thrall can do them both. Right. So I think it's pretty snazzy.
Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed it, because you won't be seeing him again.
Nope.
He got nerfed pretty bad today. But it was nice while he was around. As far as Thrall goes, I think the biggest thing Thrall does for this comp, and you saw it in this game if you watched the VOD, is Earthquake makes things easy for Genji. Earthquake goes down, and that Tracer, like, can't, if she gets hit by a one slow wave, she can recall, but Genji doesn't care about recall, like, and she's still slowed. So I saw that numerous times. You'd see the stun from Anubarak, the Earthquake go down, Genji dives in, and he's his treadmill's running forward, and theirs is running backwards, and it's really easy for him. So I would say the Thrall is why they won this game. But what's up?
Yeah, I actually like it only because of the synergy with the other picks here.
Right.
I don't know that I like Thrall as a standalone pick pretty much anywhere anymore. But with this team, it certainly worked.
Yeah, so. he kind of, it's like, remember we used to always talk about Tassadar as an enabler. He's kind of this team's enabler.
While being able to take some hits.
Yeah,
well.
Exactly, and sustain. And he has a Li Ming-esque poke with Crash Lightning. So yeah, a nice pickup for sure. And I like the Hanzo. It's just solely for utility and to burn the mortal. And again, with Earthquake, Hanzo has an easy time too. Both the Shimadas are easy pickings, like boom, So yeah, I like it a lot. I think KSV was winning this draft until this last round. I really do. Until that Thrall came out, I think the Thrall was a nice surprise. KSV is going to finish it out with a Johanna. Let me look at this Johanna pick. So I don't think.
I mean, she's a bit unkillable.
I
And
think
so
what they
if at
needed-
this
yeah.
point, if you're afraid of the team dying out, then maybe pick one of the most tough to kill heroes in the game.
Yeah.
Like, there's that, but
I think they just wanted a stun for Genji.
yeah.
Yeah, and the blind
Yeah.
helps, and she was also another body to kind of put between this kind of slightly more divey team versus the Melf and Li Ming. So
I don't like this Johanna pick though. I really don't. I think there's. I mean, most tanks have a stun, you know.
oh yeah,
you know, like,
I would like to have seen either Murden or ETC.
yeah, ETC would have been great. Because the thing is, this Genji is going to be going for your Mal for your Tracer, and Johanna's peel is an ult. If they happen to make a mistake and stand in her W, then yeah, that's peel. But other than that, she doesn't have much peel. She's not going to like walk backwards and queue them. You know, Genji's like, I don't care about you. Yeah, I kind of would have liked to see the ETC here. Obviously, it'd be probably stage dive.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. ETC just kind of fell off, but though I'm not in love with this Johanna pick. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The more I think about now the ETC, because at first I was leaning toward Murden. Bless you. But yeah, the peel that ETC has is just fantastic. And again, when we're talking about trying to get that soak advantage, if KSV needed to, once they hit level 10, having ETC be your up in the lanes and getting that experience, and then being able to pop in at the very last second when needed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of advantages that I think he has here that Johanna just can't provide.
Right. There's a weird thing that happens with scrims. I think. And obviously KSV Black has the best drafting coach in the world. He's formerly one of the best players in the world. But like, I feel like there's these things that happen in scrims where they're like they make this pro gamer council and they're like, ETC's not a thing this week, and everyone's like, okay, well, I guess we just don't play ETC. And it's like, really? But like, sometimes it's okay still. But they're like, no, we have decreed. It's a little weird to me. Yeah, I don't know. So
I think there's just so much going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
In scrims that we're just not seeing. So
yeah, it's easy to sit back in your chair and look at a completed draft and say, hey, why don't you pick ETC there? It's another thing to be like in the game,
what we're doing right now.
in the draft. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and it's another thing to be in the draft. I know, but that's what we're here for. We're here to look back in 2020 hindsight vision. What is it? Fool me twice, George Bush. Okay, and like
why that went to a weird place.
You're a weird place.
Okay.
But like that's what we do, right? We look back at drafts. So I don't like the Johanna. I thought KSV Black was winning up until that point, and Tempest ended up winning this game, and the earthquake was huge, and Genji got a lot done. So
I kind of thought it was even up until that point.
The draft or the game?
The draft.
Oh yeah. Uther.
I think it was all going to depend on execution.
Yeah.
Right. If they were able to pick off the Tracer, it wasn't going to be a problem.
I feel like you pick Uther against Genji, not with Genji, but yeah, it worked out.
Well, probably so they couldn't have him.
Yeah, true. Absolutely. Yeah. No, they already picked Malf. They wouldn't have. Yeah. But
that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay. So yeah, Tempest won that game. You guys want to give away some Phoenix codes or what?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it.
I have returned.
Oh, was that? That sounded.
Make it rain codes.
That sounded just like it.
I know. I mean, they called me up. I said yes. I mean, what could happen?
All right, you guys got a pretty good chance of winning the codes. So all I need you to do is speak in chat. Speak in chat, whatever you want. You can say Phoenix. That's probably a good one, and it'll enter you to
for ire.
For ire, whatever you want.
Still.
Yeah.
Extra points for that.
Speak in chat. I have returned. Yeah.
Still one. Oh, that's not even really his line, but that's okay.
It's true.
Steal it for him.
It's a Dragoon's line, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was generic. We don't like.
Well, what about when Blaze says need a light? That's awesome.
Oh, well, yeah, but Blaze is a generic fire bat.
That's true.
Name.
That's true. Phoenix is not a generic.
Not really. I mean, Blaze was a real character, but Phoenix is much more iconic.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I know.
I know I'm right.
I mean, I'm just
Don't
saying.
listen
Saying I have returned is pretty cool. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
You know, like do you think you click him and he says the RoboCop line like in StarCraft? Drop your weapon. You have 15 seconds to comply. Do you think he says that?
No, but
Come
maybe.
on, man. It's from RoboCop.
I just don't. I know. Why? Really?
All right.
He does some good lines. He's just altogether in too briefly. So I'm glad we have him in the Nexus now.
Well, I'm gonna go click him and see if he says that. So.
You do that.
All right, I'm going to. It'll be just like
if
I'm.
If you did say that, it'd be great to get one of the Enforcer skins for him so that he can full on be.
If they gave Phoenix an ED209 skin, that'd be my favorite skin. Holy Blizzard! I've got connections. Blizzard.
Yeah. We got you.
All right, I'm rolling for the first Phoenix code. The winner is Critic Kitten. Critic Kitten.
Nice work.
Let me send you this code. I'm gonna hit this little envelope. That's probably a good start. Yeah, it worked. Phoenix code, and congratulations. That'll be in your little message inbox there. And we have 8 of these to give away, so let's give away some more. Let's do it. All right. Remember, just all you have to do is type in chat. I think everyone in chat has typed. So, ERAM259. ERAM259 is our second winner of the Phoenix code. That comes with 1 skin in the hero. Pretty dope.
I hope you hunger for battle.
Captain Logan just spammed my Nazebo emote, and I respect it.
We need to get you a Salamis emote.
Ugh, please no. I hate them both, but at least Nazebo's kind of endearing. I don't know. All right, another one, and the third winner is Gazpancho.
Gazpancho.
I love it. Good name, strong name. I like it. I'm gonna send you a code right now, buddy.
I sent you some zealots.
Oh yeah? Phoenix code. Thank you.
They weren't for you. They were for the winner.
Oh, for the winner. Oh, I thought you were talking to me, man.
No.
Everyone but me.
You're unworthy, Terran filth.
All right. Wow.
Snap.
You want a 1v1 after this show? Huh?
That'll be.
We play co-op.
Yeah. Well,
ARAM.
No. We play co-op. I'm gonna take my Terran army and give you a little reminder. Anyways,
okay.
Captain Logan is the winner of the 4th
look at
code. Ignore that he's a mod here. It's no shenanigans. It's fine. Sending you a Phoenix code, buddy. All right. Well, that was 4 winners, and we've got 4 more to give away, so that's exciting. Close this. Close that. All right. Congratulations to all the winners. Totally rigged. And we are going to do our next pick.
I don't admit things like that.
Oh, my bad.
Where's your sense of honor? Come on.
Cough.
Oh, sense of honor. Oh, so if you cheat and don't say it, that's honorable. Okay, I got you.
Sense of honor.
Sense. Okay. All right, so we have another.
Where your honor was.
So we have another Battlefield of Eternity map. This one's from the grand finals, and that's cool because we're going to see KSV again on this map, but against our eventual winners, Ballistics. So talk to us a little bit about that while I update the team names, if you don't mind. Kind of what, based on what we saw, maybe if you think we're going to see something similar, or from what you saw from the finals, I guess just what you think of this.
Yeah, I think coming into this, I was expecting more of the same. I wasn't expecting too many kind of curveballs, especially when you're in the grand finals, unless you have this immaculate pocket strat that you've been saving just for this point. I think at this point most of the cards have been shown, so I was kind of going into it assuming, kind of like with all tournament, Maev probably going to be banned right off the bat. Probably going to see I actually assumed we would see I'm trying to think in hindsight what I was thinking, but knowing now, I'm not giving too much away,
Right.
but I think there were a lot of pairings that we saw throughout the rest of the tournament that I was expecting here, and we kind of did for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, if something works, you're going to be seeing it, but
exactly. Yeah.
Ballistics has a little bit different style, I think. Not grossly different, but they do tend to be a little more frontline heavy from what I've seen, and it works out for them really well. But yeah, we'll take a look at it going in here.
For me, I just as we go through this, I want to point out that I think this is a clear example of a win in the draft.
Okay.
For me.
Okay. We'll take a look. So Ballistics with the first pick in the first ban, they do ban the Maiev as predicted. They don't even wait. They're just like, you know what? I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm just doing it. KSV Black with the first ban Uther. Now,
which is curious given what we know now about his win rate in the tournament.
Apparently, there's something in scrims Uther was doing that was worrisome for a lot of teams.
Well, he was just in so many games. It's interesting. I'd be interested to know what's really contributed to his rise.
How much was Stukov played?
So he was not played very much. He was only 28% of the games and banned in 3 games, and his win rate was abysmal at 20%.
Really?
So,
That's surprising to me. That really is.
I know. I thought so too. I think Stukov's a good hero, but
he is. I think maybe in with Koreans, the kind of wombo style isn't as good because the players are just so good. And Stukov's a little bit of a wombo healer, kind of, like he's like, if I hit this silence right when this hits, you're done for. But like that's kind of hard to do.
But to some degree, so is Uther. I mean,
his is point and click though.
Sure.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But yeah, it is weird to me. What do you think of this Uther ban, Kat?
It really doesn't make sense to me unless there was something hyper specific in KSV's draft. Yep.
That's the Uther mobile.
We're burning him so bad that I had to call. No, like I don't think that it's an obvious pickup on a first rotation support potential. Like we've been seeing a lot of the support being picked up in this first one too. I think in this whole tournament. So, and most of the time that's Malfurion, and so I'm surprised it wasn't like a Malf ban.
I'm shocked as well.
Yeah, because he's so winning, he's so prioritized, and I'm looking at Ballistics' other drafts. They did draft Uther a good amount, but it wasn't for like any particular reason. It looks like, from what I can tell, like they drafted like 3 or 4 times in this. I don't know. It's a weird ban. They must have their spidey senses tingled about something, and they just wanted to ban it. So I don't know. It'll be a mystery, I think. Ballistics does say okay, like maybe either that was like the smartest ban of all time. They're like, oh, they knew Nani, but like instead it was probably like all right, I guess we'll just pick Malfurion. That's probably
literally on a silver platter at this point.
This feels like kind of the beginning and the end already. Like, I don't understand. You just let them pick up this combo that's been doing quite well. You had an opportunity to split it up. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd love to ask Noblesse or KSV what the reason for that was, because I'm sure they had a reason. I just don't know what it is. Malfurion did get nerfed a little bit today. He has 4% move speed at level 1 now instead of 5. Little things like that. I think we'll still be seeing him. So they got the Malfurion there. Okay, that's a little weird. And first and second pick for KSV Black are the Hanzo, played by Rich, and my boy Garrosh,
who saw a lot of play in this tournament.
Yeah. It's funny, when he came out, we talked with Cavalier Guest about how you won't see Garrosh played in Korea because he's punished his bad positioning. But then they changed him and made it so where he's actually a much more higher execution hero. So since they changed Garrosh to stop pulling in, you'll see Koreans playing Garrosh more, which is pretty cool, I think. It is a 2-lane map, which Garrosh excels on because he's like, you have to be in a lane, idiot, and you have to be in a lane with me. So it's I don't hate the pick. I kind of like it.
And Tracer shoots like BB guns at Garrosh. So
definitely, he takes her pulse bomb and he swallows it and he looks her in the eye.
Rewind that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why in this specific situation they picked up the Garrosh so early. Like maybe they assumed Ballistics already took Malfurion. They're probably going to take that Tracer and make that dream team happen again. So let's like prepare. Let's shut the hatches now before that happens. Like
maybe, but you could get Garrosh at any time. Maybe you should just take Tracer. You know.
Well, maybe though, right? I mean, what do you mean just take Tracer?
Like pick Tracer.
Ballistics already has Tracer.
What? No, they don't. They have Malfurion.
No. Yeah, they were first.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah. You're right.
But yeah, that's the other thing too. It's like, are you like, we know KSV Black can play Tracer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, is it now to a point where they feel no other support can play with her? Because that seems pretty.
No, yeah. I mean,
like an egregious miss on their part.
Right, but that might play into that sort of thing. Like I said, like the tribunal where it's like Tracer is only with Malf now. You know, like and it might be one of those things. Like it might be one of those things where that's what they've been practicing, so that's what they draft, and they won't draft.
But if that's true, there were so many opportunities to break that. I mean, they basically let this combo through. I mean, so many of the games. It isn't just even this particular series.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I think letting the Tracer through here is a mistake. I think I would have gotten the Tracer Garrosh, not even Tracer Hanzo. You know.
Yeah, I don't know why Hanzo was necessarily first pick here.
Yeah, I don't think he's first pick here. Yeah.
Me either. Yeah, absolutely not.
But again, I don't understand the Uther ban either. I mean, there was clearly something that we're not quite there at.
So
right?
yeah, and this is game 4 of the series, looks like. So they might sometimes KSV Black does this where they're like, we've kind of been kicking around this idea. We're just gonna try it. See if it wins, you know, like they aren't always trying to win the draft, you know, sometimes they're trying to like get a free win with some weird stuff, you know.
Yeah, but it seems like the bad time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it is the grand finals. Yeah. It's like $100,000.
Yeah, it's hard to, like, maybe they did practice it and feel really strong with this team for this map in this situation, but I mean, they were world champions for a reason. And so I feel like even though it might feel weird, there's always that I'm going to let them do what they want to do. They know a bit more than I do behind the scenes probably. And so like, I still have faith at this point that they've got something up their sleeve that we're really going to like come the end of the draft. Like I haven't lost faith yet.
Yeah. I don't hate what they're drafting. I'm just like weirded out. Like I'm like like what are you thinking here?
Weirded out but not turned off, I guess is where I'm at. So like, I'm curious. I'm leaning in and I say yes. Tell me more about this.
Because you know it's them, right? You're like they got it's
I still just fail to see. I mean, I'm hoping they surprise me, but I'm already failing to see the synergy and or what I don't know. I have no idea what the plan is. Right?
Yeah, I don't either.
I'd like to be surprised.
Yeah. CFC star in the chat, Ryan, by the way, we got a badass over here. He's gonna get Phoenix to level 100 on patch day with no stim pack. You gonna let him beat you to level 100 like that?
Oh hell no! Come on.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh, I am. I have a stim pack. I'll be there. So.
That's true. This guy will buy bonus stim packs even though they don't stack. Like, okay. Sorry, I just wanted to point that out. Okay, so Ballistics does pick up the Tracer, obviously. Why on earth wouldn't you? And then the Tyrael. So that's like the Eastern Clash super pack right there. Like that's like everything you could ever want right there for Ballistics.
I love the Tyrael pick up here. I mean, it's I don't know, between the position control, you know, I mean, Sanct is just amazing spell. I don't know. It feels good to me. So
I guess I don't know. I'm looking at it, Fluffy Cat, and it doesn't. It looks like they didn't play that much Uther, and that may have been because they were being targeted banned. But at least in this tournament, they weren't playing. I mean, they weren't getting that much Uther. I don't know if it was that by choice or from a ban, but yeah. Anyways. Ballistics is looking really, really good. They have the Tracer running around with just like little sparkly green things going off, healing her and blowing people up, and they have the Tyrael for the Sanct, and it's holy ground. It's just getting a little spooky for KSV Black, I would say. Let's see what they ban. They do ban a Zeratul. That is interesting.
Which I can't put that puzzle piece into the rest of this. I've sat here looking at what we'll see in the future, and like there is something I'm clearly missing with the Zeratul ban, and I would love to hear your thoughts, like toward the end of it. Like maybe it'll make more sense once the rest of this goes through. But at this point, I'm kind of like, okay, are you that worried about him diving onto your Hanzo at this point?
At this point in the draft, that's the only thing it looks like.
I think it's the only thing it can be, because unless you plan on picking up something that they may or may not pick up later.
Now, one thing is Zeratul. They could have played Zeratul. Zeratul's pretty good against Tracer. You know, if they really are thinking Zeratul, maybe they should have played him.
And they should have waited till later. I mean, I wouldn't have picked him up in this coming phase here, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyways, let's move on so we can maybe unlock the mystery. So it is, whose turn is it? KSV's Black's turn. I'm gonna move Ryan's face. Breaks my heart every time. Okay, so they pick up the Dahaka, who we don't see a lot of, and the WTF mate, the Ariel.
That is a bigger WTF mate than the Uther or the Zeratul at this point.
This draft makes no sense.
Who's the generator here? Like what? And
you don't have a battery at this point, and like sure, the whips in the close quarters of Battlefield could work out, especially now that you have like this amazing, serial dive. Tracer comes in, and then hey, you're rooted by Malf too, and then you're probably dead. Like
there's not a whole lot of follow up here either, though.
No, not at all. Like you don't have. There's so many things missing that you can't fill with one more hero, I feel.
This draft,
and so
I think they're trolling them. I think they're just trolling ballistics. They're like they.
I think it's just kind of like.
I think they
we're
made
in the finals. It's
I think they made a side bet at dinner the night before. They're like, you don't think we'll play Ariel Zarya? Like we will play Ariel Zarya in the grand finals. And, that's my only explanation for this draft. This is bizarre. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is bizarre, and I don't know if at this point, regardless of what Ballistic picks up, unless they just go down the same path, how they can recover. I mean,
so they pick up the Dahaka for the top lane. That's fine. Obviously, there are better choices in the current meta, but Dahaka filled that role for a long time. That's something, I guess. He is kind of an Abathur-esque role in that he can soak a couple extra lanes and then pop down to the fight. The Ariel, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so
I feel like I'm just trying to make excuses for it rather than like proper, justified reasoning for it at this point.
Captain Logan asks, what should they have picked instead of Ariel? And my answer is anything good, like a not bad hero, like any healer. Like she got over nerfed.
And let me take a quick glance just to make sure I'm not missing anyone, because I'm trying to think is this where maybe the Rhaegar fits in? I think we saw him pop up like a small number of times.
Yeah,
we already had Luther ban.
I would have even taken. I would have liked to have seen Sukov, but he clearly wasn't played. Yeah, Lucio was not in this tournament at all.
Mm-hmm.
At all.
So interesting.
Yeah.
And I guess you don't necessarily need the speed boost as much on a smaller map, but I think compared to the Ariel, you get a bit more bang for your buck. You have, the speed to disengage from the dive that ballistics have, like sound barrier to protect everyone like post 10 to everything else. And Lucio, again, not big in the tournament, so wasn't going to get picked, but I don't think Ariel's the answer.
I think I would have liked to have seen literally any other healer here. So.
Yeah.
Even Alex Raza?
Yeah. Even Alex Raza.
Oh, yeah. I actually think so, yeah. I think Alex Raza is all right. But CFC Star, MVP Black is definitely a very good team, but you can't just take any draft and be like, they picked it for the mystical gods picked it for some reason we don't understand. This is a bad draft. I'm sorry. I'm comfortable saying that I don't care who they are. This is terrible. And
to that point, sure, you can technically win with any draft, but when I look about what the strategy KSV has to do to execute on this Ariel pick, it's not clear. And I don't really think there is a plan. I think they're kind of going to go into this and just kind of see what happens.
Yeah. To me, it feels like they're just kind of seeing what happens. Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
So Ballistics, picks up themselves up an Arthas and a Genji. That's really scary. Like,
scary just got scarier.
Yeah,
like you have two of the strongest assassins in the game. You've got two of the best frontliners, in my opinion. Then you have this, support who is, too good for his own good, and we've covered those reasons why. Like, this is a flawless draft for Ballistics.
It's pretty good. It's like so much better than we are. It's like Ants vs. Jesus. I don't know. I've seen MVP Black live like drop their own nuke on their own fort on accident. Like, it's not. They're not that great. I mean, they are great. Don't get me wrong, but they make mistakes.
They're not invincible.
They're not infallible. So the Arthas. I mean, who even cares at this point? Like, you could pick anything there. Like, okay, so
they just need another front line to kind of keep KSV's front line a little bit harassed at this point. Like, they know Dahaka is going to be in close quarters. Why not combat circles with more circles at that point? Like, but you could probably swap in Arthas with any other. With not a lot of other warriors. I think there's a couple that you can throw in here. You might be able to throw the Sonya in at this point as well. But Arthas is a pretty good pick.
Yeah. I'm a little more interested, I think, in the Denji pick. I think Arthas is a great pick here either way. But the Denji into the Aerial Whips, the Dahaka Drag, Darish has some interrupt. I think that's a little more surprising. Clearly, I think they can execute it, but I think it's a little more interesting of a pick into KSV's team. But
I almost feel like at this point they're not scared though. Like I feel like Ballistics right now just feels the most confident, and so they don't have to necessarily be afraid of Genji getting caught in all those things because they have so much of a backup plan if he does accidentally go down.
Yeah, the only hero that is in any danger from Garrosh's throw is Arthas. And you don't want to throw Arthas on your team, like,
right?
Because everyone else just presses a button and leaves, except for Mouth, I guess. If he throws Mouth, that is a thing, but that's gonna be hard to do.
Right, you have to get to Mouth first.
And Tyrael who can get there. I mean, there's I don't know.
Yeah, Tyrael gets out, Genji gets out, Tracer gets out. Like,
well, what's TSV's plan here, though?
Well,
I mean,
at this point, this is where you
survive. It was survive. I don't even know.
Yeah. At this point, this is where you look at KSB Black's draft and say, "There comes the linchpin." But you're like, "Wait, they have an Ariel, so it has to be like Lunara, Vala, or Gul'dan."
Yeah.
And you're like, "I don't really like any of those. What are they gonna pick? What are they gonna pick?" And then they pick Zarya. So what? So if they have a plan, it's
show me the magic.
It's just beyond me. I don't know what the plan here was. I'm sure there was a plan. I will never say KSV Black doesn't have some idea of what they're doing. Of course, they're not just picking random heroes. They had an idea here, but I just can't identify it for the life of me. And I'm looking at that Zeratul ban, and what does Zeratul do to this team? Like, I seriously.
Are you that worried about?
I don't know.
Zeratul diving onto the Ariel, but like. When it comes to the plan, the only thought in my head is they wanted to outsurvive these team fights that are going to be happening during the Immortal phase and let Ballistics burn down everything, drop as much mana as possible. But like Ariel can't heal all that.
I agree with
and the shields from Zarya aren't going to do as much as you're hoping. And so where does that protection come from?
Yeah. I was just thinking that PZ Stormy, like, I think the plan is to go contest the Immortal and let Hanzo burn it by himself. Like, I think that's the plan, and I don't think that's a great plan. Like,
there's no finishing here though either. I don't know.
Lane bully draft. Yeah, I mean they can definitely push spot lane really hard. That's true. With that 4-man, Zarya does a ton in the 4-man, like Braxis style, but.
It seems like a risky gambit.
But like, who cares? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That is an interesting draft. I want to look at. I want to look at that some more.
I did not see this for a good 20 minutes and was like I was waiting for it all to come together, and at the end I concluded like KSV is playing some 4D chess that is going to make itself very clear in this game, and they didn't. They just didn't. And like was mentioned earlier, there's a clear winner in this draft, and it's ballistics no matter which way you slice it. Like we can make all the justifications for KSV's draft, but ballistics just looks so much better. Okay. And is, I think, a bit more straightforward to execute, a bit more of a comfortable, draft overall.
So I I think I kind of see what they might have been doing in scrims. So because the meta on this map has shifted so far away from an immortal burn style, that even if you let the other team burn the immortal, it takes a while. Like like no one on their team does a lot of burn. Like it's gonna be a while. And I think it may have been while they're burning the immortal, we just push in bot. We just take that fort. Then the next immortal, we take top fort, and just let them have immortals and win that way. I think that may. But why Ariel? Still.
Yeah. What's to stop ballistics from bringing the fight to them though? I don't know that I would. I don't know.
That's what it looks like this draft's trying to do, and with the minus the question mark of the Ariel makes. They know they had some goofy idea or like something they had in mind for Ariel that I don't know. I'm not aware of.
And Zarya. I mean, I think both of them.
Yeah.
Well, the Zarya is part of pushing.
True, but I still think you could have rounded out this team, given the first 3 picks, into something a little more recognizable. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm wondering if maybe they were banking on Zarya having so much energy consistently that they were hoping that she'd be the battery in this scenario.
I mean, she
but that's good players aren't going to let that happen.
Yeah.
Zarya can do that. Yeah.
But
feel
yeah,
the heat.
The likelihood is just not
there's
high.
There's not a ton of AOE to do that. So
right.
I mean, just Arthas, right? I mean, then it's not much.
You mean not a ton of melee?
No, I'm saying there's not a ton of AOE to force the energy generation, right? I mean, Tracer and Genji are purposely going to stay away from her, so I don't know what incidental energy she was gaining here.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not going to be taking a lot of damage, period, unless if Genji decides to kill her, she's going to die. He's not going to kill her when her shield's available, Yeah. Well, that's just something. Okay, well, Ballistics did win this game. I don't remember seeing this game. I'll have to go back. I thought I watched all of the grand finals. I must have accidentally not seen this one. But yeah, Ballistics won in a 7-game series. The rest of the drafts look very much more normal.
Yeah.
If you look at the drafts from KSV and Ballistics, they're all very meta, except for there's one final Uther pick with a Leoric in the final game, which is a little odd, but it's not bad. But yeah, very interesting draft. Ballistics definitely won the draft in the game, so that's cool.
Yeah. I always like to see, we always make fun of, the North America wacky draft, but I love seeing the wacky draft on the Eastern side because they could actually make it work and it's not going to feel like a cheese ball kind of thing. And so I guess that's why, with these two, it's so fun to see, what the Eastern teams say is wacky and attempt. And we've seen the Triple Warrior before. Like, that's not necessarily the oddball. Right. It's just the who was in there, too. Right. So.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the benefit of being a winner, right? Like, is when NA picks a weird draft, everyone's like, oh, here we go, these losers. When KSV picks...
no benefit of the draft.
When KSV picks a bad draft, it's like, oh, you just don't understand their master plan.
You're exactly right. We would just make excuses.
Yeah. That's what happens when you win a lot of tournaments. So
we've been conditioned by our Korean overlord.
It's true. Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. You guys want to give away those Phoenix codes or what?
Yeah, let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
But hit me with some Phoenix quotes. Danny.
Some Phoenix quotes? What does he say?
Oh, come on.
I'm a Terran. I don't know. Here.
How about let's see if I can find a good one.
See, you don't know any either.
I'm gonna do you a longer one, so you can pick what part of it you want.
Oh, you're gonna do a longer.
Well, the Kala awaits me, Turgan, and although I am prepared to face my destiny, you'll not find me easy prey.
Oh wow, this guy! I told you about this guy. He knows his stuff, man.
Hit me.
Wait, say that again.
The Kala awaits me, Turgan, and although I am prepared to face my destiny, you will not find me easy prey.
You will not find me easy prey. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, all right. And I just got a message that the RoboCop line is absolutely in the game. So, good times. Good times. And then we need that ED209 Phoenix skin. I'm gonna send some emails.
Start the lobbying effort.
Yep. All right. So, giving away the codes now. Go ahead and type in chat once again. Anybody who wants a free Phoenix hero and skin, type in chat, and I will make you eligible. Obviously, you can't win 2, but, you know, talk in chat, say words.
Type
Drop your weapon. Oh, wait, I'm not going to type because then they'll just make me win.
Whoops.
Nerf Tyrande. That's funny. All right, keep going. I know there's more of you in here.
Trying to look at these talent picks for the games. I think so. The first game that we looked at, I think the Thrall actually picked Sundering instead of Earthquake.
Oh, really?
Which I know we talked about the combo, and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I have my memory is all probably. I'm probably remembering a different game.
Right. It's there's so many games, and it's been a bit, but it's fine. But the Sundering is interesting given how powerful Earthquake could have been.
Yeah.
But I guess also being able to split up a team and like have a very clear target presented right at the end of it is also pretty appealing. So
yeah,
both are pretty decent.
Yeah, really. Actually, I want to look at that again.
Yeah.
Let me check that out. Oh yeah. I guess I could see the value of the Sunder there as well. Just for that super hard engage, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Ariel best healer. Yeah, I was gonna say this guy wants a code and he hasn't talked, but now he's talked. Okay.
You gotta talk for the code, my friends. Sweet code.
Yes, I think for Phoenix it's a little interesting. I know there's been a lot of talk about some sort of, I don't want to use the word, but gimmicky death mechanic of him returning in a Dragoon.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they probably made a wise choice, as cool as it would have been. But
yeah, it's just because dying and coming back because of the choices they made with his character is such a part of his character, you know, that I thought they would do it for sure.
And that's what a Dragoon is, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah, and that is what a Dragoon is. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna roll. Our winner is GamerPaul89. I like that I know your name and your hobby and the year you were born. Right there. That's good. Upfront information. All right.
How do you know he's not 89 years old?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. All right. I've sent you a code, GamerPaul89. Congratulations. Rolling again. And the winner is not Lord of Ascension.
What?
Nope. Nope. The winner is Meat Engine. Meat Engine with a win. Congratulations on that, buddy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. There we go. Whoa, I almost did something really dumb. Okay.
Won't be the first time.
I know. All right, Meat Engine, you should have a code in your inbox. Congratulations, buddy.
Well, we have two more? One more?
Two more. So the next winner is... Press this little present button here. It is Cajun Canuck. Congratulations, Cajun Canuck. Yeah. All right.
Nice.
Phoenix code. I can spell that. Code. There you are, buddy. And the final winner.
Dun, 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 dun.
The final winner of the Phoenix code is...
You need to be playing some Protoss music. I'm a little disappointed. Not ready for this.
Protoss music. Karia.
Yes, the Protoss music.
Oh, the Protoss music. I thought you meant like the music they like play at home.
Oh,
like their beautiful ephemeral jazz music. Yeah, you know they all listen to jazz.
I'm a little disappointed that now that you hadn't produced something original just for this stream.
I know, right? All right. Congratulations, Karia, on winning that final code. And yeah, that's eight Phoenixes given away.
8 more. We'll see day 1. All right.
That's right. Yeah. So let's see what else. What else we have going on? Ryan, you have anything? We have anything going on, or do we just do Draft House?
I think mostly Draft House.
Okay. I'm still working on that 1v1 thing. It's harder than I thought, but I'm getting there.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I don't know. Dorm got announced.
Yes. Hey, do you want to go to Dorm?
So I'm thinking about it actually.
I want to go to Dorm. Dorm was the best event I've ever been to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arena. You can
Yeah.
check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty rad down there.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that. I'm a little less excited about it being in Burbank compared to other places it's been.
Yeah. Seattle was cool. Yeah.
So I've been to the Seattle and then Vegas. And then the first one was somewhere in LA, right in the Shrine.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a bummer, but that's all right.
Yeah.
See the
arena, I mean, I do really want to see the arena, but yeah, we should go, bro. We should go.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, let's go. Cool.
Hang out.
CatPeachGG, what do you have coming up? Make sure you follow her. That's her Twitter right beneath her face there. What do you got going
I'm assuming
on?
down here. What do I have going on?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm currently waiting for a lot of the amateur leagues to pick up their next season. So I know a bunch of them right now. NGS and I think Charity Gaming League are all currently sourcing their next season of teams. So, definitely get into those. Still doing a lot of work behind the scenes for Open Division. Those games have been fire to watch. So if you haven't been watching them, please check them out because these teams are amazing and they're so good. And the casting has been great too. Yeah. There's 2 channels being casted on as well. So you have double the game each week.
Yeah, I've been.
So that's exciting.
I have noticed. I watched Open Division last year, and the level of play this year is a lot higher. They're very good. So,
yeah. But yeah, otherwise, I will be at Heroes of the Dorm. So if you're there, please say hi, along with the rest of the Heroes Hype crew. But I think that's about it for me off the top of my head.
Okay.
So yeah. Just floating around the Nexus. That's
she's
all.
floating around the Nexus. Give her a follow.
Don't you mean hovering?
Yeah, hovering.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. If you see Cat Peach playing Probius, it's me.
Yeah.
Good to know.
That's her.
Good to know.
All right. Cool.
I'm really excited about us being able to field a full Protoss team.
Yeah. Oh, that's something I have to announce. I'm on Brawl with the Blues. Yeah.
Very exciting.
So when that happens, I'll be doing that. I think they already announced it. Otherwise, I just screwed up. But I don't think it matters.
Everything you just heard.
I didn't actually say that. No. But yeah. So Phoenix, we'll be playing Phoenix. It'll be cool. And yeah, that's about all. I stream every day. I don't work, which is 3 or 4 days a week during the daytime. Daytime Hero League makes me cry. If you want to see a 6'6" man sob on the internet, just come by my stream during Hero League. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. And I do that, and we do in Drafthouse. If you guys missed any part of this, or you want to go over these or hear what we had to say about a draft you may not have caught, this will be on YouTube, available to within 24 hours. So you can check that out. And again, this was Nexus Drafthouse, episode 55. I'm Sahara Drac, and that is Lord of Ascension. And we are with our guest, Cat Peach, who was lovely and a joy to have on. Thank you very much for coming.
Yes. I appreciate it. It was a blast.
Thank you for having me. This has been so much fun.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. And we'll talk to you guys soon. I'm gonna sign off now. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.